Warriors! Is Ripple XRP leaving the US and the SEC? My goodness. I'm going to take you on a journey all the way to the end, Warriors, and show you my perspective. Putting the players in the game, moving the chess pieces, and Brad Garlinghouse is not even phased. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And I want to start out by saying my only role here is to give people information. If you give a man or woman a fish, they eat for a day. If you give them a fishing pole, they eat for a lifetime. If you teach them how to farm, as my boy William says, they will feed a nation. I want you to think about what I just said. I'm not trying to get you to believe in XRP, cryptocurrency, gold, silver, or the new realm that I'm running into. What I'm working to do is to get you to believe in yourself, to create your own narrative, to understand that you have this whole computer in front of you that can help you tremendously make good decisions. That you don't have to just watch the news or just listen to me or listen to another crypto YouTuber, but make informed decisions for your family. But what I will tell you is we're in the biggest shift in generational wealth. And it's not just cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a big part, and it's changed my life and thousands of warriors worldwide that we've helped open up their mind and awareness to not just cryptocurrency, to goal setting, vision board creation. But the point of this is, I don't care if you're left, right, Mormon, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness. I don't care if you're Buddhist. I don't care if you don't believe in God. What I do care is that you understand how powerful you are. I will love you right where you are. I believe in God. I follow the life of Jesus. So if that turns you on, I'm not the guy to follow. I never ask for likes, follows, or comments. If you do, I appreciate it. But what I'm here to do is bring the people together as one accord, to come together, to rise up within this beautiful place, to help each other, to not fight against this invisible enemy outside of you. There is no left. There is no right. I don't care if you take the V. I don't care if you believe in the C. What I care about is that you rise up in this moment in time in history that will be written in history to take care of your family. Well, you didn't come here to listen to my soapbox speech, but if you'd like to join our beautiful community, cryptocurrency, subconscious mind programming, tons of connection, click the link down below in the description and we'll get you taken care of. All right, so let's dive right into this, Warriors. I'm going to share my screen with you guys really quickly here. Let me see. How will this work? Okay. And I'm working from home right now. And thank you for all the love. I know my son took a little spill yesterday during the live, but family is always first. So I jumped off right away to take care of him. So I appreciate you guys' love. He's good to go. He's a little rambunctious like his dad, so he fell off his desk. But all right, so we're going to jump right into it. So is Ripple XRP going to leave US? No. Brad Garlinghouse says in this video, and I'm not going to show you that part of the video, but you can see it right here. It's a 2021 Aspen Security Forum. Highly recommend. I went and watched the whole forum. I watched all the speakers, different parts of it. I don't know if I saw all of it, but I watched a bunch of different clips. But I want you to listen to this. The lady that's about to speak was formerly in the government as well. And then right after that, Brad Garlinghouse is going to speak, okay? Now, I want you to listen to what he says. They're not even fazed by this case. In this same interview, he talks about, they ask him if they're going to leave the US. He says, we prefer not to. We're a US-based company. But remember, almost 0% now. There's been almost 0% growth in the US because of what the SEC is doing. But I'm going to show you what I think is happening behind the scenes for this to be set up. Okay, watch this video.
We don't have any time. We're behind. In my view, right? It's not that we're not the dollar isn't the reserve currency and that we don't have a very sophisticated banking, but there are other countries from a tech perspective, I think that, have the capacity to move well ahead of us. Paul, I just wanted to address one question that you said before, which is, will the industry work with the government? It's happening, right? There's a reason why the amount of illicit finance that actually happens in crypto has massively gone down over the last few years. I mean, by some estimates, it's well below 1%. There's a reason why, when you have attacks like the Twitter hack or Colonial Pipeline, there's a reason why they were able to catch those guys and disrupt it. That's because there's a huge amount of effort from industry to help to work with the government to solve these problems, right? I'm an advisor to a company called Chainalysis, which is one of the premier blockchain analytic firm. They do incredible work, both with the private sector and the public sector, driving illicit activity driving illicit activity down. I think it's also a little bit of a misnomer. It's great clickbait to say that crypto is just about illicit activity. It's just not.
Someone in the government who now works in blockchain, do you notice a trend? Former government, blockchain, just said it's clickbait. Why do you think on our YouTube videos, think about this, the only way we'll get views is if we put something exciting on our videos. That's the only way. It's wild. Now all these crypto YouTubers, to include me, our views are going down and going down and going down. If you put on your notifications, many of you are not getting your notifications. Why? That's exactly what she said. It's clickbait. It's FUD. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Those who control the money, control the information, control the people. She just said it. So listen to what Brad says. No phase. Watch this.
The truth. I mean,
right, we've come a long way from the days of Silk Road, and I think to discount the real use cases because of actions of a few, which again, some of this technology may have been born of an anti-government and anti-bank and all those kind of things. That's not where we are today. And Paul, to your question around, where is the U.S. today in its financial infrastructure? One thing that I think this audience will find interesting is since the SEC filed their lawsuits against Ripple, we have signed dozens of new contracts with banks, with payment providers around the world, and I think only one here in the United States. The lawsuit effectively has stymied the United States customers. Like, well, if the SEC is doing this and some of these are public companies, like, we're not going to touch this until there's resolution. That just puts us further behind.
So that's good news and bad news. We know the bad news, it puts us further behind. The good news is these companies are itching for this case to end so they can jump on board. Here's why. Because their competitors outside of the US are already up and running on one of the fastest, most effective, most liquid, most amazing blockchains, cryptocurrency, whatever you want to call it, the protocol that is going to change the financial system. These American companies are itching to get on board with Ripple, my opinion. Okay, so let's continue on. Okay, so you heard her say it's clickbait. They're putting out clickbait. They're trying to fudge you. Okay, Brad Garlinghouse isn't even fazed by what's going on in the U.S. And in the same video, he says, yes, we're trying to stay in the U.S. as long as we can, but they can't stay too long, right? It's all by design, Warriors. That's why he hasn't moved. That's why they haven't moved. Okay, so now we're going to listen to SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. Remember, I repeatedly tell you the same things. He left MIT as the head professor of cryptocurrency. I highly recommend, if you're in crypto, go back and watch this whole video on the Aspen Security Forum. You can watch this. This one is the view from the SEC, cryptocurrency, and national security. Listen to what he says, and then I'm going to take you. He mentioned some players in the game, and I'm going to take you down the rabbit hole.
Internet 40 years ago, and the movement from physical paper money to digital money, we nations, states around the globe layered various public policy goals over our digital public money system. Sanctions regimes, anti-money laundering, tax compliance. We did that sort of in this digital public money area. And that's what, to some extent, people are using a medium of exchange in crypto. Now, as a policy matter, I'm technology neutral. I would say as a personal matter, I wouldn't have gone to MIT if I weren't interested in how technology can expand access to finance and contribute to economic growth. And I wouldn't have spent so much time around the digital currency initiative at MIT and my colleagues there if I didn't think there was something here that could be a catalyst for real change.
Okay. Did you hear what he just said? He said he wouldn't have spent his time at MIT as a professor teaching this if he didn't think that cryptocurrency was a catalyst for change. This is your SEC chairman. He just said, if I didn't think it was a catalyst for change, and your friends and family are still telling you that cryptocurrency is going to get wiped out.
But I am anything but public policy neutral. In my current role, as new technologies come along, we need to be sure that we're achieving our core public policy goals. And in finance, what's that about? Protecting investors and consumers, guarding against illicit activity, and ensuring financial stability. And that's where it fits into national security interests. But how does the SEC fit into it? And I'll close with some thoughts on the national security. But the SEC, well, we have a three-part mission for those who aren't familiar: protecting investors, facilitating capital formation, and then in between, maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets. Investors, capital formation, and then the markets in between.
So basically, they're responsible. The government feels they're responsible for the money flow, right? So the money flow. So cryptocurrency exchanges, non-regulated exchanges, non-regulated cryptocurrencies, these ICOs that are flooding the marketplace disrupt the money flow. This is all about the flow of money, warriors. So if you can get caught in the right side of the wave of the flow of money, you are going to become one of the wealthiest people in the world. Not financial advice. And there's another shift in generational wealth coming. Crypto is just a small part of it.
We focus on financial stability as well as part of that fair, orderly, and efficient markets. But at our core, it's about investor protection. And if you want to invest in a digital, scarce, speculative store of value, that's fine. Good faith actors, by the way, since antiquity have been speculating on the value of gold and silver. So that's been around for thousands of years. Right now, though, in this digital, scarce, speculative asset, Bitcoin and others, we just don't have enough investor protection. And frankly, at this time, it's more like the Wild West than some sort of protection against fraud and manipulation in the space. This asset class is rife with fraud, scams, and abuses in certain applications.
Which is true, right? You have ICOs that rug pull people all the time. You have, that's why there's, people go back and forth on a lot of the TikTokers that are getting shut down around crypto are rug pulls. They're pumping and dumping cryptocurrencies. I haven't been shut. I mean, I get shadow banned by people, haters that whatever, that stuff. That's different, right? Yes, do they try to slow down cryptocurrency? But also, like, think about this in the fitness space, right? In the fitness space, I own a gym facility as well. Advertising in fitness and finance, they hate marketers in fitness and finance or make money online. So that's a known thing in the marketing world, in the social media thing, because a lot of people get scammed, because a lot of the TikTokers, a lot of YouTubers are pump and dumpers. They're trying to get their communities into cryptocurrencies, and then they get pulled and they make money off that stuff. I've been offered money by cryptocurrency coins to post them on my TikTok. Do you ever say, I'm not paid by XRP. I talk about XRP because I've been into XRP since somebody brought it up to me. I'm not paid by XRP. I'm not paid. The only company that pays me anything for promotion is Manscaped, the ball shaver. And that's on my podcast because I actually use it for manscaping. Anyways, too much information.
There's a great deal of hype and spin about how crypto assets work. And in many cases, investors aren't able to get rigorous, balanced, complete information. It doesn't mean there aren't good faith actors, and there are many of them, but investors really aren't getting the information to judge the risk and understand the risk. And I fear that if we don't address the issues, I worry a lot of people will be hurt. Now, first, about the tokens themselves. Those tokens being offered, many of them are offered and sold as security. There's actually a lot of clarity on this front. So you see in the 1930s.
Okay, so this is key. A lot of me offer securities. There's a lot of clarity on this front. So ask yourself, if there's a lot of clarity on this front, then why is there an SEC lawsuit against Ripple about the sale of a security? It should be over by now. It should be solved. Think about what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying.
Congress established the definition of a security, but they included like 20 different items. You'll be familiar with some of them: stock, bonds, notes. But one of the items is called an investment contract. In the following decade, the Supreme Court took up what's the definition of this term: black letter law, investment contract. This case said an investment contract exists, and I'm going to quote for a moment: a person invests his money in a common enterprise and is led to expect profits solely from the efforts of the promoter of a third party. You might have heard of it. It's called the Howie test, related to an estate of William Howie that actually was about orange groves in Florida. And what do orange groves in Florida have to do with cryptocurrency? Well, the Supreme Court has upheld this test a number of times subsequently. And so further, there are other tests. There are many other determinations comes under the federal securities law. Now, my predecessor,
okay, listen, this is going to be really important. My predecessor, but think about what he just talked about. The Howie test is based on orange groves in Florida. I think, don't quote me on that. I think it was 1946. I may have that off, but we're determining whether cryptocurrency is a security or a currency based on a freaking thing that was about orange groves in 1946. And this is a brand new asset class since the 1600s. Just rationalize that. Okay, listen to what he says.
SEC Chairman Jay Clayton, I think, said it well in 2018 in congressional testimony. He said, to the extent that digital assets like, and I think he named Bitcoin, but he said, to the extent that digital assets like initial coin offerings or ICOs or securities, and then he goes, and I believe every ICO I have seen is a security, we have jurisdiction.
Boom. Okay. So he said, Jay Clayton, every ICO is a security. Okay. Every ICO is a security. I agree with him because what happened, but also Jay Clayton, they also said that Bitcoin and Ethereum is not a security. And then they stopped at Ripple. And then he's the one that threw the case out against Ripple. So are you starting to see the connections and how my brain works on this? Okay, so why would Ripple have not left the United States yet if almost 100% of their business is outside of the United States, right? Think about that. There's something going on here. Now, this is Jay Clayton, former SEC chairman, who left 3 days after he threw out the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, and now is consulting for One River Capital, a cryptocurrency fund. And here's Jay Clayton on CNBC talking about regulation of digital currencies, the former SEC chairman, and I'll take you a little bit deeper.
As Bitcoin falls below 50K. Joining us this morning to talk about whether or not we're going to get heightened regulatory scrutiny, former SEC chair and CNBC contributor Jay Clayton. Jay, welcome back. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
So it seems like every headline this week has had that phrase, heightened regulatory scrutiny. It's being blamed for Bitcoin's fall. It's being blamed for the way in which SPAC issuance has screeched to a halt. Is that a legitimate boogeyman or not?
Well, look, let's talk about digital assets more generally, Bitcoin being the best known of the digital assets. And my answer to this is, of course, we're going to have more regulation that touches on digital assets. Let's go with the potential functions for digital assets. We've got store of value, we've got method of payment, and then we've got facilitation of financial transactions. Starting at the very top, in all of those areas, you need transparency. You need to know that any money laundering, any terrorist financing, and frankly, to put a point on it, taxation rules are being followed. You need to know that they're being followed around the globe. Because if you're having financial transactions, we've learned over time that you need those to have what I would say is a legitimate, well-functioning system that doesn't facilitate bad actors. So that is part of what is coming. Different pieces of regulation, depending on whether it's store value, payment mechanism, or the like. But that's the threshold thing that is coming and needs to come.
So the degree to which and the way in which that is communicated to investors and to traders, how do you see that happening? Okay, so I just messed that whole thing up, but I'm not starting this whole video up. I don't edit my videos. Okay, so what I want you to think about that, he said, of course, regulation's coming in. Of course it's coming in, right? Of course it's coming in. You know, Brad, they're not leaving the US. You got her talking about the FUD, right? They put out clickbait to get us to watch the videos. Okay, you got him talking about the Howie test, regulation. You got Jay Clayton, who's now consulting for One River Capital for a cryptocurrency fund, who says, yeah, we're bringing in regulation. He's the one that throws out the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. And now after rejecting Bitcoin ETFs, former SEC chairman Jay Clayton joins fight for approval. So now on his side, now in the cryptocurrency world, he is fighting for approval of an ETF for Bitcoin. Think about that. As he rejected them over and over again when he sat there as the chairman, okay? SEC Gensler outlines plan for cryptocurrency trading exchanges, investor protection for Bitcoin ETFs. This is important. If you go back and watch the Aspen thing, and we know this, federally chartered banks and thrifts may provide custody services for crypto assets. This happened back when Brian Brooks, who now is the CEO of Binance US, he threw out this so that federally chartered banks and thrifts may provide crypto services for crypto assets. I mean, warriors, this is crazy. It's just all in front of our face. This is all about moving in regulation. So just make sure you're on the right side of it. You're in fundamental cryptocurrencies. Yes, they're coming after bad actors like a freight train, these pump and dumpers. It's going to end up like the stock market.
It's going to end up eventually after our price appreciation, maybe probably about 2025. We're going to go through it again. We're going to have some massive bull run. It's probably going to start to normalize like the stock market as your taxes are tokenized, as your mortgage is tokenized, your health records are tokenized, your voting tokenized, everything you do is tokenized, right? The world, we have however they're going to do this worldwide, whoever our reserve currency is going to be, but it's all going to run on a blockchain. So this is pretty cool. One of the warriors sent this to me. NASDAQ wants to be a blockchain tech disruptor. Think about this. Warriors, an interview in Fortune 500 magazine, NASDAQ CEO Andin Friedman outlined how the organization embraces blockchain technology, NASDAQ market technology. Warriors, it is coming fast and furious. So this is a longer video. Thank you for bearing with me with that, Warriors. I know I had a little mistake in there. I don't edit my videos. I don't edit my TikTok videos. I don't do fancy videos. I'm just here to, we get some fancier technology, but I've always been honest and open. If you listen to my podcast, I don't edit any of my podcasts. You give me real, authentic, this is who I am. This is how you will always receive me. In our Warrior Academy, I'm actually taking the Warriors on a journey with me as I build into generational wealth. Yes, I have manifested everything within my life. Where I'm sitting, who I'm mentoring with now, and where I'm heading was all by manifestation. 3 years ago, I was in a facility. I opened up a facility after leaving corporate America. There was hardly anybody in there. I said I was taking my company globally and worldwide. Now we've helped over 2,000 warriors with over 16 different countries worldwide. My podcast is, if you go to motivation and you type in motivation on iTunes, you go to motivation, you'll see me in the top 25 on my podcast, the Coach JV podcast. You go to Spotify, we're within the top 25. Whereas you can do this. I'm a normal, everyday dude who just believed in myself, who believes in a higher power and believes I've been gifted with the ability to think, walk, and talk and take action every single day. So I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for bearing with me with my thing going on yesterday with my son. He's okay. He's ready to go. But Warriors, I'm just going to bring it to you every single day, raw, authentic, and let you know that I love you. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Everything is description down below.